I started this about 10 years ago, and it totally has changed my life and what I see is possible in my life as well. So I think this experience, I suppose, or this journey we're going to go down, if you continue it, it can actually completely change the way you do your life and your business. And before I start, I want to sort of know, has anyone done gratitude before? Anyone in the practice of writing out things that they're grateful on a day-to-day basis? Yes, Cassie, excellent. Hey, Melinda, good to see you here. All right, so before we start, I want you to sort of think about what you do on a day-to-day basis and what sorts of things you're thinking about on a day-to-day basis. Because when we start looking at gratitude, those things can be very highlighted in our life. They can also be noticed in your life, and they're opportunities to change all sorts of things. So I want to ask you a question. What are you currently looking for in your life? So are you looking for what's missing? It could be the clients that you don't have. It could be money that hasn't arrived. It could be things like that you haven't achieved certain things. You might be putting things out there and they're not here. Hey, Kim, think about maybe the weight you haven't lost, the house you haven't bought, the confidence that you don't feel at the moment. Because here's some things that I've learned. Your mind will find evidence for whatever you keep looking for. So if you're constantly looking for what's wrong or what's missing and what maybe is not happening now, your mind is going to continually find that for you. And you'll have plenty of evidence to support the story that you're behind, you're not doing enough, or things aren't working. But what happens when we deliberately start looking for something different? What happens when we start looking is we start looking for things and it starts working. And that's what we're going to start looking at today. So gratitude isn't about sitting there saying everything's perfect, because sometimes it isn't. You can want more money and be grateful for what you have. You can want more clients and be grateful for the clients you already have helped. You can want a bigger business and appreciate the business you've already created. You can want a completely different life and still be grateful for the life that you're already living today. So gratitude doesn't mean you stop wanting more. It means you stop making what you don't have yet the evidence that your life isn't working. So I've seen this in my own life. There have been times I've been so focused on the next thing, particularly in branch management, is that I haven't necessarily noticed the next level of myself. I haven't noticed things that have been happening and what I've been achieving. And this is where we can stay stuck, because we're too focused on what isn't happening. And obviously that's what our mind is going to continue to look at. And so that's what we're going to continue to have more so in our life. So one thing I want you to look at today is what's one thing, pop a comment down. What is one thing you're grateful for right now? And I don't want an obvious answer that you sort of think of. I want you to really think about it. Maybe it's your health, maybe it's family, maybe it's your business, your home, maybe it's your dog, or 4 of them, however many you've got. Maybe it's the fact that you're finally backing yourself. Maybe it's something that happened today. It could have been something that happened 20 years ago. Just put in the comment one thing that you are grateful for today. Kim, time for rest. Excellent. Cassie's put the same thing, time to rest while unwell, definitely. And when we notice these sorts of things, this is what we actually allow ourselves to have more so. So I want to go one step further. What's something you're grateful for your past self created? So that's an interesting question when you have a look at that. What's something you're grateful for that your past self created? Because sometimes we forget that the life we're living today contains things that a previous version of us once wanted. So things that we wanted 12 months ago, 5 years ago, are actually now in our life. So go back and have a look at that and have a look at some things. What's one thing that you're grateful for that your past self created? Kim, I'm so happy and grateful for this morning's sleep in. Absolutely. Cassie, independence. Yep. Melinda, work even though I want to give it away. Yeah, fair enough. Absolutely. Being grateful for that it's there, although you don't want to do it at the moment. So think about that. There are things in your life today that you once hoped for. Maybe you just got so used to them not being there that you actually stopped noticing. So this is where I think gratitude becomes very, very powerful. Because when you start looking for what's working, you start seeing evidence, and evidence changes your perception of things. So you start thinking, actually, I am capable. Things are moving. I have created a lot in my life. I do have choices. Maybe I'm further along than I actually thought. And that changes the way you show up. You make different decisions, you make different conversations, you carry yourself differently. You stop operating entirely from the I need to get there scenario and start operating from look how far I've already come. And I'm definitely looking at this at the moment, looking at who was I 12 months ago? What was I doing? Even 2 years ago, what was I doing? Who was I? And then having a look at where I am now, what I'm doing. And we see these things happening over time. And I even go back into some of the books that I've written out, journals and things like that 5 years ago, what I was writing out. And they're about the only things that I do keep is some of these things, because it's like when you go back and have a look at who you were, what you were actually hoping for in your life 12 months ago, 5 years ago, and then realize it's actually here now, then you can be grateful for that, experience that, what you created in your life, because it is you that has created your future. And this is completely different energy. So when we get into that completely different energy of looking at, okay, well, what I wanted 12 months is now here, we can then look at it and go, yay, okay, that's awesome. What a win is that? Yeah, then we can have a look at what we want to have in the future. But a lot of the things that I write down as being grateful for is what I don't have at the moment, but what I'm grateful for because that's what I'm bringing into my future or into my now. So gratitude is about past, present, and future. Okay. So today I'm introducing the 5-day challenge. And so what I'm going to be doing is in this group is each day I'm going to be putting a prompt, and I'm going to be telling you these prompts every day. But what I want you to do is have a look at that, think about it, and write it into the group. Because basically what's happening is that you're making a decision on what it is that you want and what you are grateful for. As I said, past, present, and future. It doesn't have to be what you're wanting in the future. It can be now. Each of these prompts are going to be here for you to think about something that you can do. And then obviously share, because that's where the energy is going to amplify for you. So day 1, which is today, is about your life. What are 3 things in your life you're genuinely grateful for right now? And you don't have to write this down because I'm going to pop it in the group for you, but you can think about it. And then go into the group and write in those 3 things that you're grateful for. Day 2 is about your business. What is one thing in your business that is working, even if it's tiny? It doesn't matter what it is. It can be the smallest, it can be the largest things. But what is one thing in your business that's working? Then day 3 is about your growth. What are you doing today that the old version of you couldn't? So that's why we go back 12 months ago and have a look at who it is that we were 12 months ago and who we are now and that version of you, because when you look at your growth, who she was 12 months ago isn't who she is today, and who she is today isn't going to be who she is in 12 months' time. So day 4 is about your people. Who are you grateful for and why? Who's in your life that you are grateful for and why? And then day 5 is about your future. And this one's obviously my favorite. What can you be grateful for as it has already happened? So think about it as, okay, what's in your future that you want to come, and be grateful for it as if it's already happened. So it can be the clients, it can be the money, it can be the business, it can be a relationship, it can be travel, home, freedom, whatever it is for you that you want. We don't ask, how am I going to make this happen? For a moment, simply imagine it has happened and feel grateful for it. Because if you actually think about it, everything that you want usually comes into your life. The only reason it hasn't come into your life is because you haven't given it the energy, or you've given up on the hope of it's coming there. So that's our challenge, 5 days. Just being open and honest about what you are grateful for, because a lot of the times if you haven't gone into this type of thing for yourself, it can be really eye-opening as to what actually you are grateful for. And it can take you a little bit of time to sort of sit there and think about it, because sometimes those things don't come to you in an instant. You've really got to sort of like go, oh, well, what am I actually grateful for? Oh, well, I don't know. It's how I started. It was like, oh, I don't really know. I had to adopt the behavior of coming up with things that I am grateful for. And then when I adopted that, oh my goodness, life did change dramatically. So as I said, it's 5 days. Join in if you would like to. See what happens at the end of the 5 days. When you share what you're grateful for, other people are going to share what they're grateful for. And you can go in and see where other people are at. And this is about not just judging anyone or judging yourself, thinking, oh, I should be grateful for that, or what a great thing she's grateful for. Yes, you can totally take something of someone else's if you would like. Absolutely. It's about coming in and just sharing what you're grateful for, how you are feeling, and then other people are going to get to know you as well. So does anyone have any questions? Anyone like to add anything? Okay, Ryan. Let me have a look here. Some people have written some things. Okay. The home created in a beautiful environment. Absolutely. Cassie, skills to fix things around the house. Oh, you are a little doer. Melinda, my kids, even though my marriage didn't work. Yeah, absolutely. Always been grateful for the fact that that person came into your life at the time. You created some children from that. The memories are amazing. Okay, it didn't work. Not everything is meant to work, but looking at the positives out of whatever it was, creating those amazing children is beautiful. Ryan, my past self created my home, my 3 lovely dogs, my decision to quit my 9 to 5 5 years ago. Woohoo! Love it. 3 things I'm grateful for: my health, my freedom, my family. Happy Monday, Shelley. Thank you. That's awesome. Yes. The thing is, it doesn't matter what it is. It does not matter what you are grateful for. It's about you actually noticing that, writing it down, and then looking at it. And what we want to do is not just look at it and just write it down. We actually want to feel it. So when we come from that place of really feeling what we are grateful for and leaning into that and going, yeah, oh my goodness, we have running water. There are countries in the world that don't have running water. We take so much for granted. It's about coming back into those little things and writing those things down. So these prompts I'm going to start, I'll put in one directly after here that you can go in and write if you choose to share what you were grateful for. And each day I'm going to pop in there the next prompt for you to then share your gratitude. So does anyone have any questions or anything that they would like to share, or if they've actually done this gratitude thing for a while and want to share their experience of how they've been going?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Cassie?
I've always got something to say. Yeah, I just want to say, like you said, the running water. I know when I first started this, I'd be looking around going, what am I grateful for? And it'd be things like the heating, my socks, my whatever it was to keep warm that day. And then, yeah, and once you get through those, well, those easy things, then I was able to go deeper and deeper into what I was grateful for. But sometimes you just need to knock those tier ones, those easy ones off, and then that allows you to go deeper. So yeah, sitting there some days thinking, what am I grateful for? Like you go, oh, I should be going deeper. I should be grateful for some things, but some days it's easier to be grateful for some things, and other days it's harder. So I learned not to be hard on myself while I've been doing this. But it's interesting to go back over the months, nearly 12 months I've been doing this, to what I was grateful for at the start to what I'm grateful for now. So yeah, no, it definitely works. I said some days it's easy, some days it's hard. Some days my list is long, some days I've got three on it. Yeah, just depending on the
Yeah.
day. So, but it's
Yeah,
great. I'm
and
looking forward to this week.
thanks. Yeah, thanks for sharing because that's very true. Sometimes we can go, "Oh my God, I've got to be thankful for something." You know what? You can be thankful for the same things 5 days in a row if you want to be, because that's what's sitting in your space at the time. Just keep remembering past, present, future. You can always go back and be grateful for things in your past, people you've met, decisions you've made, falls that you've had, things that you've had to lift yourself up off the floor. I go back to often when I spent a week in bed when I thought I was completely and utterly just lost and defeated with taking on branch management, and then go, wow, one conversation totally changed the meaning of my life, kind of thing. So these are the things. It's like not going back and or forward and going, okay, this has happened, this is disastrous, or whatever it is. It's about, okay, well, what did I learn from that and how did I get through it? There are so many things to be grateful for just in those experiences alone. So we have a lot to be grateful for. It's being in the process of doing it.